Welcome to Scriptural Snapshots, brought to you by Living Faith Ministries in Kaiser, West Virginia, where we bring the living Word of God into your life. I'm Pastor Gordon Brubaker. This is our fifth day of talking about the fifth commandment. Isn't that interesting? Fifth day, fifth commandment. And the fifth commandment says, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God has given you. And we've been talking about how the family unit, God created it with a man and a woman. He created it as an original authority in your life to guide you and to direct you. Now, the original formula for family was God, husband, wife, and children. See, God has got to be the authority in the family. And the problem is with our professionals, with our science professionals, our education professionals, they're telling us today that God doesn't exist. God isn't real. God is a figment of your imagination. God, religion of any kind, is for weaklings who have no self-worth. But let me just propose this. If you throw away God, then what becomes your God? What replaces the authority in your life? See, the same question is, if you get rid of the family unit, if you destroy the family unit, what is the authority that now takes its place? You know, every vacuum, science tells us every vacuum will be filled. You know, it just sucks things in. So if you destroy God, there's got to be a replacement for it. Because one of the early definitions of man, when they dig up old skeletons and old bones and stuff, that they know it's a man in part, not just because of the skeletal structure, but because they worshiped a God. They believed in a life after death. Isn't that amazing? You don't see monkeys buried with dolls and monkeys buried with things. No, you see men, people, human beings, believed in God from the earliest onset. And we find out that when you don't have a faith in God, when you don't have that core belief in God, the state comes in and becomes the God. We also find that when you destroy the family unit, the husband and wife, man and woman, when you destroy that family unit by getting the man out of the household primarily is how it's done today, when you come against that, what replaces that original authority in your life? You know, we've just had proposed that the federal government wants to come in and start preschool education from the age of 2 through 4. Isn't that amazing? See, we're going to take the child out of the family unit and we're going to bring it into the government structure where the government will now parent the child, which is what the professionals said back in the 70s that needed to happen, because as parents, you don't know enough to know how to raise your children properly. But the state does, so you can trust the state. Isn't that great? You can trust government. They will always do the right thing. They will always teach morality, and they don't teach morality anymore. They will always teach honesty. No, they don't teach honesty anymore. They will always teach integrity. No, they don't teach integrity anymore. See, governments teach and lift themselves up. They're not concerned about the individual because their goal is they've got to protect the state, because the state has now replaced God, and the state is working constantly to take over the authority from the family. This is why in the United States, our Constitution restricts the involvement of government in the lives of people. And today there's a whole bunch of people, they want to overturn that. Let the government take care of everything. Yes, we'll put everybody on welfare. We'll put everybody on a fixed income. Well, what does that do? It puts government as God, and now you can't challenge government. You can't question it, because they'll just cut you off. They'll just send you to Siberia. They'll send you out to the Netherlands and let you die in the wilderness because you can't challenge the government. And this is so crucial today to begin to understand. Now listen to this. Adolf Hitler said, "He alone who owns the youth gains the future." He alone who owns the youth gains the future. Hitler knew if you can control the youth, if you can indoctrinate the youth, you will control the future. Well, we've had socialists, we've had all these people that have come into schools or education system, and they are teaching our youth, they're teaching our children against family, against marriage. And see, this is one of the key things that people didn't understand. When the Supreme Court made the ruling about marriage, that marriage can be a man and a man, a woman and a woman, as well as a man and a woman, When they changed the definition of marriage, they changed the foundations of the United States of America. They changed the foundations of culture, and today you can't challenge that. You can't go against that. Today our schools and the universities are controlled by socialists. They're not Christians. They don't lift up the family. They lift up the state, like Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was a socialist. Lenin, Karl Marx, Mao Zedong were socialists. They weren't capitalists. They were socialists. And we all know what happened to them. If you bother to read a history book, that their people are still in bondage today because the state had become the God, and the state had control over the children, and the state predicted and created the future of the state. I'm Pastor Gordon Brubaker. God bless you.